So welcome to our first advanced training with Healy, our first Thursday. These trainings are from now on every week, every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Brisbane time, 5 p.m. Singapore time, and we are going to go and dive deeper into the world of energy, vibration, frequency. Tonight we are starting at the basic level, meaning that we are doing the baby steps and the foundation, because I truly believe without the foundation, we can't really dive deep into the deep waters. And we are going to, in the future, things that are prepared, that are coming, are literally about, how to use your Healy and how to use it effectively on all different levels. Yeah, meaning looking at the emotional part, how to use that to transform emotions. We'll learn about the coaching program and how we can actually set right intentions to actually start transforming our reality within us and outside of us. We're going to look at things like the physical level of the body, how we look at the physical body from the energy part, not just the physical matter, and how we can use Healy. But tonight I want to share why I use Healy and why I love it and why I've been so drawn to it. And I want you to start thinking about Healy and yourself and the environment that you're in a bit outside of the box. Yeah. So this is about stretching your perceptions and stretching the way you see yourself and stretching the way you see your environment that you're in and the way you see other people around you as well. Yeah. And this is coming only from my experience and the knowledge that I gain. And please don't take this is me, and this is completely honestly me. And I say this to all my clients since the beginning of time, to anyone I meet, and to all my friends. You are the source of truth. Yes, anything you hear from anyone, please check in with yourself. We live in the energy world and we talk about energy all the time. We use Healy through frequency and energy. And I really want you to understand that anything that comes from outside world, it's just an information that you need to check with yourself first, because your true knowing is within yourself, not within me. My knowing is for me. Your knowing is for you. And this is something I really, 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 really want to teach you, learn, share with you, is that you are the creator. You are the one that holds the information. Everyone around you is just literally projecting and giving you information so you can actually build that foundation. You are more than capable of doing this. Trust me. And I'll share a bit about my story so you understand that it's not only me, you can do it too. And I really want to share this with you. Yeah. So I'm excited about this because I'm really excited about empowering people. And I really want you to be empowered, because with that little, oh, hello, it's still in a box. I'm sorry. I was running around today. But this little, sorry, my thing what has pink circle on it so I can, know which one's which. I think anyone that has more than one Healy has that at home. But this little thing, little device. Sorry, background. This little thing, yes, it's a device, but it's more powerful than we actually think, and more powerful that we can actually imagine currently with our 3D brain. And I really want to stretch your perceptions, and I want to stretch your world so you can start seeing things that you might not see yet. Yeah. So I'm going to put my Healy on and I'm going to share my slides, and we're going to go and on this beautiful journey. And I want you to have fun. Yeah. Because energy is lots of fun. Yeah. For me, energy is like I'm a kid in a candy store. Yeah, it's all the colors and all the beautiful things, right? And it's something that we learn better when we have more fun with things in our lives. So let me share my screen. And if you can please let me know if you can actually see my screen, and it says Welcome to Shift Your Frequency and Transform Your Reality. Everybody seeing? Thumbs up? Yeah? Perfect. Awesome. Technology is working, even in Mercury retrograde. I'm pretty stoked right now. Okay, let me just extend this beautiful gallery so I can actually see you properly. Here we go. Okay, so welcome. So I named it, this is mine. Yeah, this is my ego now. Shift your frequency, transform your reality. Why? I will tell you a bit about myself and why I really love this. When I was 7 years old, I had my first awakening. I saw an accident. So anybody that haven't been in Sydney last year in the conference, Healy conference, when I was speaking and sharing my story, this is going to be like a Speedy Gonzalez story. So when I was 7 years old, I actually had a first vision into the future. It was quite a big awakening. And I still don't know why my essence chose to do that, but obviously it was meant to be. I saw an accident that actually happened 5 minutes later in front of my eyes. And one man got actually hit by a car. He survived, everything was okay, but that was my first encounter with energy. And mind you, I come from a background, I went through a war when I was 8 years old. I come from a really abusive background, emotional and physically abusive household. And I was completely disconnected from my body. I suffered from endometriosis for 10 years. I didn't know that I had it. I was given a contraceptive pill when I was 20 years old, 19 years old, that then almost killed me by creating a blood clot. And my intuition and higher self, whatever you want to call it, my essence, I call it my essence, saved my life on that day. And that got me on a journey of healing myself with completely natural approach. And it took me a long time to heal my body because on a physical level, my body was really, really damaged. I also suffered with anxiety and depression. I almost killed myself 3 times. So this is a story for me now. Yeah, it's the past. And it's a Speedy Gonzalez story. But I want you to know that through my journey of healing, the largest element that actually helped me heal my physical body was shifting my frequency. What does that mean? We're going to take a look at that as well today. But when I shift my frequency, my whole physical reality changed. And I became a completely different person, living in a different country, having completely different friends, doing a completely different life. So I really want you to understand that, yes, you can do whatever you really want to and whatever you really need to in order to put yourself back together. And there's a lot of hope for you. And all you need to do is really believe and work on finding yourself and coming back. I call it coming back home. So let's look at this is a bit about me. I come from a small country, just on a physical level. I come from a country called Slovenia. It's a country in the shape of a chicken, if you go and look for it. It's a beautiful country, but it had a lot of wounding, went through a lot of wars, and a lot of ancestral healing to do. But today is not about me. Today is about you and frequency vibration and healing yourself and coming home to yourself. So let me see how I can do this. Will this work? Okay, moving forward. No, yay! Okay. Understanding energy. What is energy? I know that there's a definition there, but is anybody wanting to share? What do you think and feel energy is? And hopefully you can unmute yourself, but otherwise just raise your hand and I'll see if I can unmute yourself and unmute you. Nobody wants to share what energy is? Okay, no worries. I will share. Definition of energy is the capacity for work or vigorous activity. What does that mean? right? It actually means that it moves anything. Yeah, we need to actually perform work, meaning movement or action, in order to create or shift or do something. Yeah, so energy is always in motion. Yeah, it's the energy of motion on anything. So if we don't have energy, we can't move, work, do anything. Yeah, so that means we are actually practically dead. So energy is the essence, the charge for anything that's alive. Yeah, so make it a simple way. There are universal laws of energy, and I really wanted to put this here as a foundation because it's something that builds everything that we're going to do in the future. And it's going to help you understand why certain things happen in life and why you see them that way and why you feel them that way. Because there's a way of the energy that works on a specific way. So let's look at those laws. So energy in itself can't be destroyed. Impossible. It can only be transferred or transformed. So this is really important when it comes to healing, and we're going to look at that in the later aspect, but this is something that's really important. Energy is currency we pay with every day. We also exchange with it every day. Yeah. So in the world of our existence, I know we live in a 3D world and we pay with money, but in essence, in any relationships we have with ourselves, with others, energy is what we are exchanging. Either we are losing it or we are actually charging ourselves with it, making it more and multiplying it. Everything is connected. Everything. So energy always runs in circles. Yeah, it doesn't stop somewhere. If it stops, we are in trouble. Yeah, we're going to look at that too. And everything has a unique vibrational frequency. That's like a fingerprint. Yeah, everything that exists is the frequency and the vibration. It's like a fingerprint of every living being, and we can determine there's different groups of frequencies, but we all have a vibrational fingerprint, and that's also a law of energy. What is like draws on itself. Frequency, it's not like a magnet of opposition. Yes, we have magnetic field, but frequencies attracts the same frequencies. Yeah, so if we have a frequency, we color it yellow, all the yellow frequencies will be joining in one group. Yeah, because they're attracted to each other. Yeah, and all the blue frequencies will be joining in one group because they're attracted to each other. So that's also an aspect that will be coming handy when we're going to look at things through coaching programs or through aura scans. Yeah, so those are things that we need to kind of have in mind. Also, every action has a consequence. So when we look at frequency and vibration, we're going to understand why when we look at what vibration and frequency is. Anything we do, meaning on a physical level, anything we think, anything we feel, even if you don't tell anyone, it still has an effect on others. Even if we feel it doesn't, it actually has an effect, meaning that we influence our environment and other people and animals and beings around us, as well as just the environment, the air, the ether around us, by just thinking, feeling, and being, because we are vibrating into the field. And I'm going to show you how that looks like. So energy is always moving and constantly changing. Energy can't be still. If it's still, it's like a dead lake. You know, the muddy lake, it starts rotting and there's all this stuff that's gunk in there. That energy is a dead energy. So energy needs to move all the time. Yeah. And that actually applies on every level of ourselves, because we have different levels on a physical level as well as on an energetic level. We have different levels of our body, of ourselves, of our existence. And it's really important to understand that if there's a stuck energy somewhere in there, there's a consequence to it. There are at least two sides to everything. Yeah, so polarities in a world that we currently live in is magnetic polarities, plus and minus. And more we move out of the polarity of this world, the physical world, the more we can actually see the different sides of the same thing. So I am asking you and inviting you to open yourself to looking at one thing from different perceptions and different perspectives, because that will actually help you move the energy within the body that has been stagnant. Because if we are looking at only from one perspective, that just means we're never going to see the true story. And that will never move the energy because it's always stuck and we are sticking to it. Unless we are moving around it, it's like it's not never going to move. Yeah, there's no space to move. Hope that makes sense. If something doesn't make sense and you have any questions, just pop them in the chat and I'll go through the chat at the end so we can actually have a Q&A. Nothing is permanent because energy always moves. There's always changing. This is a really important part of the law of energy, especially when it comes to healing, especially when it comes to quantum scanning. Because when we scan and we see the result, we have already changed our perception. That means that if you do another scan, it's already different. Yeah? Even if you don't do a scan and even if you don't read it, you already taken in the information from the field, and even if you don't know consciously, that's happening behind the scenes. So I have a funny story with a friend of mine that was trying to trick Healy. And I still love her. She was trying to trick Healy, and she was scanning herself every 3 seconds on aura scan. And then she sent me a photo, like I'm not kidding, 50 photos, yeah, of all the aura scans. And she was like, Petra, this is not working. Like the last one was like her total percentage was like 6%. And I'm like, honey, you are exhausting yourself by just doing this. Like I can see it on your chart. And she was like, it's not working. It's not changing. I was like, that's not the point. You are looking at it from a different perspective, right? So this is energy world, and how we do things with Healy is different than we are used to doing things in real physical life. So intention of how we do things and what we do in Healy is crucial. And we're going to look at that with one of the coming trainings, is to learn to really understand how to use intention with Healy. So and then manifestation requires a balance of energies, alignment. So manifestation doesn't just mean I'm manifesting money or I'm manifesting, you know, this abundance, right? Because this is like a trend of speak around the social media, right? You're manifesting all the time. Yeah? You're manifesting just by being here. Your manifestation is you being in a physical body. That's the manifestation. And whatever you want to manifest, whatever that is just changing the state of being. So when you change the state of being, we need to shift the frequency, because now we're living in this group, but now we want to live in this group. So we need to shift the frequency in order to literally become one with this group or this color of frequency. Yeah. So having that in mind, whatever is that you would like to manifest, instead of manifesting with your head, which I encourage you not to, yeah, anything through Healy needs to come through heart, because heart is the connection to the field. Your head is just a projection of everything you feel in your heart. It's like a movie projector. Your heart creates the information of what you want to see, and your head is what projects it into the world. So make a mental note or heart note, whatever you want to call it. But really, really, really important thing when you work with Healy, you will need to understand how to be in coherence, which is alignment of your mind and your heart, and how to actually start feeling from your body, from your heart. Yeah. And we're going to learn things that I'm talking about right now. But today is just an introduction into this world. So these are the really important foundations and the laws of energy that we can't trick. So we can't just bypass these. These are present at all times. And if we're not aware of them, we can't shift our frequency. We can't shift our state of being. We can't shift our awareness in order to shift our reality. Does that make sense? Hopefully. I don't know. We'll see at the end. Okay, so let's go and look at the forms of energy. So this is more on a physical level, so we can understand that within our body, there's not only one energy. If we are looking at, yes, we can name it one energy, but there's different forms. One energy turns into different forms of energy that we call energy. I know in English, we don't really have a lot of words for something that we haven't experienced yet. In my country, which is really cold in winter, we have probably about 10 words for snow. Yeah. In Australia, where you don't have a lot of snow, you only have one word for snow. Yeah. So it's the same thing in energy, right? It's the same thing. So if you don't know, if you haven't experienced it, if you haven't experienced the different types of energy, the different levels, the different textures, you can't have the word for it. So let's go in to start educating ourselves. And then when we have an experience, we can kind of make up words. Yeah, because we don't have them. So I like creating new words, so to be creative and have fun, which is really good too. At least I like it. Okay, so first energy we call kinetic energy. So kinetic energy is actually energy of motion. So it's the energy that actually moves on object. Yeah, or for example, if you have a rock sliding, or down the hill, it's just a small movement that an object normally moves itself. Yeah. And it's also the energy, our digestive system moves things out naturally. And anything that does things on automation is what has kinetic energy. And your body will turn its basic energy into kinetic energy when you need to move. Yeah, or you need to digest, or you need to, build your heart, or move your heartbeat has a kinetic energy as well. Yeah. The second one is potential energy. This one is important because it's called stored energy. So this is energy that we actually contain when we are in stillness. Yeah, when we're not in motion, when we're in stillness. It's also the energy that we store when we have suppressed emotions or trauma. Yeah, that's also the potential energy in the body. So when we start releasing that and opening that, your body will actually release energy. So you become hot or you start crying. Things will turn into kinetic energy to start moving. Then we have thermal energy, which is the heat energy. Your body, in order to be alive and live in the environment, needs to actually turn some stored energy into heat energy, thermal energy, in order to actually regulate your temperature depending on the environment. Yeah. So if you are outside in the sun and you come back home and you're hot, you potentially actually gained energy because you got more thermal energy. That energy will then be used for certain things elsewhere in the body because now you have more energy, which is really good. You didn't have to produce that energy, you actually received it from the sun. Then we have electrical energy, which is the flow of electrical charge, which one is really important as well in Healy on a physical level. And electricity in our body, we are electrical beings. This is something that has been proven now. We have electricity within, let's say, veins, but it's electric veins. Yeah. And electricity is actually required for the nervous system to send signals throughout the body into the brain. And we can't, this is like a communication pathway of things within our body. Yeah. So electricity is a vehicle for information. And then we have, we can't do anything without it. So the brain actually needs electricity in order for us to move, think, feel, do anything in the body. Yeah. So that's why this is important, because Healy does help us with that when we don't have enough of that electricity in the body. And then we have metabolic energy, which is energy for function of the cells. So every cell has a communication pathway. We're going to look at that later in the body, and anything that we call metabolism. So metabolism in the body, we all know that it actually turns what we eat and drink into energy. Yeah, and when our body when our body has more energy than it needs, well, it would store that energy into potential energy. Yeah, and that's where our body kind of adds on fat. Yeah, because we have more energy that we use and we store it. It's a simple version. Yeah, and this also includes emotions and thoughts. So anything that it's excessive and you don't need, and it's actually producing more energy that you need, it will be stored. So for example, if you are anxious, yeah, and you feel things, if you're an empath, if you call yourself that way, and if you go out into the, to the crowd, and all of a sudden your body starts being a bit anxious because you're kind of charging yourself from other people because you're feeling the energy. So the exchange happens, and now you have an electrical charge in the body that you can't release. So you come home when you're anxious. So you need a bit more time to actually release that charge in order to come back to balance in your body. I don't know if anybody resonates with that. I had a lot of that in the past until I actually learned how to discharge. So that's really important to understand as well, because if you overdo Healy, you can have that feeling and your body will actually feel it. You will either store the energy or you're going to transform it into something else if you know how to. So these are just the basics. There are many more energies, but these are the basics that we actually need in the body. And they're important when we're looking at Healy and working with Healy. Okay, so everybody probably knows this: healthy cells, healthy bodies. If you don't, we're just going to go basically through this. It is a young, healthy cell. It's the way I see cells in the body is they are a bridge between the energetic world and the physical world. Why I'm saying that is because the cell is the smallest element and a building block of your body and your organs. Yeah. And the smallest building block or element in the cell is atom. And within the atom, we have atoms, protons, and neutrons, and all of them are connected with electricity. So that's the factory of information. That's what connects to the bioenergetic field, the information field that we can't see. And that is the channel where the information comes in and puts information forward to the cell. Cell now needs to actually transfer that to the physical body in order for us to function in the world. And what happens is the exchange of that information happens through the cell membrane, which what we call is cell metabolism. And young cells are beautiful, healthy cells that are in balance and have this communication pattern in a perfect balance. This exchange happens with energy, what we call cell voltage. When the cell voltage in the cell, within the cell, is larger and stronger than the voltage outside of the cell, there will be like a ramp, yeah, a valve opens, and there's an exchange that happens. Yeah, we don't have to go into biological details, yeah, and scientific details. It's just a understanding of why this is important. So when there is no energy within the cell, the voltage drops. And when the voltage drops, what happens is the communication pathways between the body and your information field are now not working. It's like, when you send an email and you never get it. Yeah? That's kind of what it does. So the cell in the body and the energy field are not communicating. So when we actually charge the cell, what we do, we're actually fixing the communication levels. We're fixing the communication pathway between the physical world and then the energetic world. Because we need that communication. Because without that communication, there is no electricity and your brain doesn't know what your body needs to do. Does that make sense? This is the simplest way I can describe this. And every cell has a blueprint, which is our DNA, but every cell has its own purpose, which comes from somewhere. Yeah? You can call it bioenergetic field, you can call it your higher self, you can call it God, you can call it creator, you can call it whatever you want to. But it comes from somewhere. And that somewhere, it is our energetic bioenergetic field that we can't touch. And we are more than just a physical body. And I'm going to show you what the difference is when we look at the body and the energy. Okay, so now the fun time. We're going to look at what the vibration, what the frequency is, and what resonance is. Does anybody know what the difference is? Nobody wants to participate. Okay. I get it. Okay, let's talk about it. So the way I see vibration, and this is something that when I studied things, I could feel the difference between vibration and the frequency and the resonance since I was a little girl, because I can see energy and I can see the textures and I feel the textures between them. So when I talk to people, please don't get scared. I need to focus on that. So I'm not going to read through you right now. But I do feel the energy of the space and I do feel the energy of people. And when I look at them, what comes back to me is colors. So I see colors in different levels and textures and intensity. And I also feel the texture of energy. So sometimes it's sticky, sometimes it's like really intense, sometimes it's like really dense. So I can feel the differences. Oh, get goosebumps. So for me, it was easy to feel it, but my brain couldn't explain it to anyone. Yeah. So I started reading things online and I'm like, I have no idea what that means, right? And then I started actually searching for kids' videos, yeah? Because if I can understand it as a kid, then I can explain it to anyone, right? So the way I see it is this. Vibration, imagine, simplest way, is if we are both on a porch, you know, those old porches that have these wooden planks, they're all like squeaky, yeah? So you sit on the one side of the porch and I stand on the other side of the porch. And I feel happy, so I start, you know, bouncing my feet on one of the planks, yeah? And you're sitting on the other side of the plank. What do you think you're gonna feel? Yeah, you're gonna feel movement, right? You're gonna feel movement. You're gonna feel something, but you're not gonna feel the movement only on your butt. You're gonna feel your movement through your entire body. That is vibration. Yeah. So the movement out of, so if we look at what it says, vibration is a mechanical phenomenon whereby oscillation occurs about an equilibrium point. So equilibrium point is a 0 point. Yeah. This is where dead people, dead animals, this is where body dies. Yeah. So anything up or down that 0 point, it's actually vibrating. Yeah. So that's why you feel it in your body. Yeah. That's what's called vibration. How many times per certain amount of time, meaning, let's say, how many times per second or how many times per minute I'm actually bouncing my foot while singing because I'm happy, that's what's called frequency. So when I'm actually sending the vibration, I'm also determining what you're gonna feel in your body and how that will influence your body in real time. What does that mean? For example, imagine that if you have a mosquito in the middle of the night buzzing around your ear, do you like that frequency? I don't. Yeah? Because that mosquito is flapping its wings, yeah, in an amount of time or occurrences in that split second, yeah, that it's annoying me because my body is actually on a completely different frequency because it wants to sleep. And they are not going together. Yeah. So if somebody is sleeping sleeping, your frequency of the body will lower. That's not bad or good. Yeah. Lowering frequency, when we're looking at the waves of how frequency happens, just means larger waves and slower waves. Yeah, it's like the high five in the, what's the Rio, you know, the turtles? I don't know if you've seen it, like the turtles go high five really slow. Yeah, so it's really slow frequency, really big waves, and it takes them long time to go up and down. This is our physical body. So what you are actually holding, it's vibrating on a low frequency. That's why you can touch it. That's why you can see it. That's why you can feel it. Yeah? If a mosquito is annoying you, it's because it's vibrating its wings at a frequency that's really high. And it's so high that it's right in the middle of that zone before you can not hear it and you can still hear it. Yeah. And that wave would look like this. Yeah. Really tiny waves, really fast. So that means it's vibrating on a higher frequency. And if you have a low frequency and high frequency meeting together, what do you think it's going to do? It's gonna vibrate through your body, yeah? And if you wanna sleep and things are coming down and something coming in doing this, it's gonna do this, yeah? So it's gonna wake you up, yeah? This is how it actually works on a frequency level. And it's actually really simple. It's like dropping a pebble into the water. It's going to go out in consecutive circles. That means all the fish in the water would actually feel that vibration. And if it's annoying them, they will move because they don't like that frequency. And every animal actually moves away because they feel the frequency of anything around them. And they sometimes see it as well. So this is the simplest way that I can explain this. So these are the elements of energy. Now we come to join those two together and we come to resonance. So what is resonance actually in simple terms? This is a really long one because it's a definition, yeah? If you don't understand it, it's fine, yeah? The easiest way that I can explain resonance for children is I pop that photo in there for a reason. Have you ever gone out and do some swinging, like, you know, swinging like kids do on swings? Yeah. If you look at swings and don't sit on them, you will see that they naturally move. They never completely still. They naturally move. That is a resonant frequency of that swing. We all have a resonant frequency of anything. Our organs, our body, animals have their own frequency. It's called resonant frequency. It's literally our own specific footprint, fingerprint, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. When I sit on, or maybe you sit on the swing and we want to play together and you say, push me. Yeah, I want to go higher, like kids do, right? What's going to happen when I start pushing you on a swing? You have a resonant frequency and the swing has its own resonant frequency. So those frequencies are different. There's like different songs or different prints, right? And now we're joining them together. So when I'm going to push you at first, it's going to feel really hard to push because I need to put a lot of energy and a lot of work into moving you because you're not at the same frequency, resonant frequency as the swing is. As soon as we push you a few times and you actually align with the frequency of the swing, how much energy do you think I will need to actually push you? I can push you with a finger. What does that mean? In basic terms, it just means you become one with the swing. Your resonance becomes the same as the resonance of the swing. That's why you can move together. How does that apply to your body? Well, let's look at it. If your body is, I don't know, let's say liver. Your liver is not performing at its best, yeah? That means it's out of its own resonant frequency. It's out of balance. That's what we call it, yeah? The resonant frequency is the balance of one object or being. If it's out of balance, it means that it's not aligned with its own resonant frequency. If we apply its own resonant frequency, for example, with Healy, I don't know, if you go to liver programs, there's programs in there, and you can apply specific frequencies that are actually resonant frequencies for that organ. If you apply it long enough, yeah, and you help your body through the environment, and you help your liver through the environment to come back to its balance faster, what do you think is going to happen? It's the same as the swing. The liver is going to come back to its natural state. It's going to come back to where it needs to be. It's going to come back to its own resonance. That means it's going to be happier. It's going to perform better. That means that it's going to have an effect, like a pebble in the water. It's going to have an effect on everything else in the body. The same principle applies to everything in life, not only the physical body, the emotions, the thoughts, the beliefs, the reality, anything that you see around you. Yeah, these principles are the same. So I really want you to stretch your perspective to see how to start observing your own life and see how you look at things around you. Hope that makes sense. My favorite part, Healy. Yeah, why I love Healy so much. Healy from the beginning for me was always a bridge. We in itself as human beings, as intelligent beings, as multidimensional beings, we are Healys. We are quantum devices. We are quantum beings. But unfortunately, our 3D brain, it's not there yet in order to see all levels of ourselves and to see our complete expression. So when I say Healy is a bridge, if I look at this slide and you see this beautiful being on the left, yeah, it's a kid that drew it, yeah. So if you have that being on the left, you can see anything in the world around you as a mirror. I'm not saying that everything you see is exactly the same as you. I'm saying that everything you see in the world can give you insights into where you are in your state of being, on what frequency you are actually vibrating. And it makes it a really beautiful exploration to start experiencing life around you and start exploring the inside of you and how, if you shift something within you, how does that apply and come out in the world around you? One tricky thing here is, as I said before, physical level is a lower frequency vibration, meaning that any changes we do within ourselves on an emotional, mental, quantum level, meaning bioenergetic field, they will happen faster in the energetic part of us, but they will take a bit more time in order to be seen and expressed on a physical level. So I want you to understand that, because people tend to give up when they're right at the door before opening to actually having a full transformation. So anything that was in the past, present, it's also in the future, and vice versa. In quantum field, everything exists at once. I know this is a concept to stretch yourself, but anything that you want in the future, it's already present within you if you can see it. You are already touching it. You're already there. The only thing that you need to do is open up the veil and shift the frequency in order to actually see it. It's already in energetic space existence. Yeah. We just can't see it because we are not vibrating on that frequency. We're not tuning to that radio yet. Yeah. I love Healy, and I always wanted to use it as a bridge, not as a magic pill, not as Healy can help me do everything. No. But imagine if you have this beautiful, beautiful device that can actually scan the field that you can't see yet and helps you bridge the gap between where you are now and where you want to be, and how you can transform that to pull yourself into that space. Oh, goosebumps. So this is why I love Healy, is because it empowers me. It actually gives me potential energy that I can utilize and transform. And that's why I love using it every single day. Now, looking at how you can help yourself with Healy and support yourself with Healy, there's a lot of things. So there's a quantum scanner in your Healy that you probably know. So quantum scanner actually scans 12 layers into your field, into your bioenergetic field. We're going to look at the layers of the field in the future trainings. But just so you know, if things come up when you scan yourself, and they don't resonate with you, that doesn't mean they're not there. You just can't see them yet. Yeah. And if you allow yourself to surrender to the process of shifting energy without attachment, you will see how things kind of bubble up. Yeah. It's like bubbles in the soup, right? They start bubbling up and you can then see them because now you become aware of them. So this is a really powerful tool. So please, working with energy, please don't take it lightly. Yeah. State of balance. So when we're looking at energy, our core intention is to bring our body back into the state of balance, who we are in our center. So looking for that sweet spot, I like to say it, right? That doesn't mean you throw all your frequency at your body. Yeah. That means that you take one piece and you work with it for a while. Because if you have a tree that has fallen in a storm and half of the roots are out and half of the roots are in, and you want to put it back, standing up and want him to grow, well, you need to kind of put the poles around and you need to rope it and you need to wait for the tree to actually grow the roots. But if you're scanning yourself every single day and throwing you at yourself all those frequencies, you're actually confusing your body. You need to work with your body for a while to shift frequencies within the state of being and observe what's happening. It's like an exploration of yourself. It's bringing you closer to yourself. It's bringing you closer to your body. Blue Wave app. I love the new app. I love the new app. So this app is amazing. Yeah, it gives you so many options in Healy that you can use. You can work with yourself. If you have physical challenges, please have in mind that if you don't shift the emotional and energetic part of you, the physical will never shift. So the way I see things in energy is everything is a circle. Anything that's not working, this is words that I'm using not really correct, right? So anything on a physical level for me is just a message showing me there's something out of balance. So anything that's out of balance in the physical level, it will need to go through the emotional to shift. It will need to go through the energetic to shift. And then we'll close the circle to see the manifestation on the physical. So make sure that if something is on the physical level, be it pain, be it, whatever disturbances in the body, make sure you look at the energetic and the emotional part of yourself as well and work on them. And do that. For example, the way I would do it, just an example, is I would scan myself on a physical level, for example, the beginning of the week, when something happens or something's not right. Yeah. And I would choose that list that comes up and it saves it into the lists in the Blue Wave app anyway. On the same day, right after, I would actually scan my aura. I would scan the lists, and for me, I love to go deep, so I actually use the negative relevances as well. And I save that list. And then I go into my coaching and I scan that and actually look at my mental patterns and see what's coming up in that moment, because all of them are connected. So I use all three lists, and then I vibrate all three lists depending on what I feel intuitively, depending on how long the lists are. But the shorter the list, the longer the timing, and the longer the list, the shorter the timing. And I would actually vibrate that for 5 weeks, every 4 hours. I would use, depending, about 2 to 4 minutes daily. If not, you can do it also about 38 seconds. That's in the Healy. So it doesn't take you a long time, but what you're doing is you're actually sending frequencies to your field around you and helping your body have more time in between to actually use that information and start transforming it. Yeah. So if you're just scanning yourself and, just pushing things onto your body's going to have so much information that's not going to know what to do with it. So one thing, keep going for a certain amount of time. If you don't want to do 5 weeks, that's fine. Fine. Do 1 week. Yeah. And see what's your sweet spot. It's about exploring yourself. Yeah. If you have any questions about that, let me know. Okay, and then we have beliefs, emotions, and physical body and spiritual body. So all of these are the things that we need to look at. Something that you can do on a spiritual is, when you go deeper, is use Healy if you are at that point. If you're not, you don't have to, yeah? But if you are at that point, you can scan yourself with all those programs, and then you can also look at, with the chakras, which chakras, for example, are at the top and are at the lowest, yeah, lowest energy. So what I tend to do, if I do a longer period of vibrating, is I would do a meditation and use my own energy, because I use energy to heal. I would use my own energy while I have Healy on my bracelets. Yeah, so I put chakra, for example, if my lowest chakra that day was root chakra, I would choose root chakra in a pink cap. I would pop it onto my bracelets, and I would actually do a meditation, put in a bit of breath work, and combine the tools, use my energy, and expand that energy that I'm actually applying to my body to help my body heal faster. So have in mind that your body doesn't want a magic pill. Your body wants tools that it can utilize in order to bring itself back to balance faster. So if you're combining tools, and this is my favorite thing to do, is combining different tools together. And what I found and experienced is, when I use Healy and combine other tools, I actually speed up the process. That is my experience. But I would love you to actually go and experiment on yourself and explore what your body needs and what your body is telling you that's right for you. And please let me know. I don't know, share in the Facebook group. Send me a message if you want to share with me. Would love to hear. But I really want to know if you are actually exploring your body, because if you're not, how will you know what's right for you? You can't just rely on somebody saying this is the right thing. You need to test it. You need to know what your body needs. Otherwise, you're not connecting the dots. Yeah. And otherwise, you're not empowering yourself. You're actually disempowering yourself. And that's not going to help you long term. Okay. That's on that. Now the questions. Holy shizzles. Okay. We're almost an hour. Anyone would have any questions, any aha moments, anything that you would like to share that you've learned tonight that you haven't heard before, anything that you would like to learn in the future that might came up today that didn't connect with anything? And also, if you actually liked today's training, so I know if this is the right path to go. And if you can, I've done that, you can unmute yourself, but
I thought it was great, Petra. I thought it was a really beautiful it brought us back to basics. Lots of people in the comments are saying that it was really exactly what they wanted to hear. It was amazing. Thank you so much. So yeah, it was
Beautiful.
awesome. It's nice to put some meaning and context behind some of those words that we hear often. So my biggest takeaway was just the knowing that we are the powerful creators, that we get to really have an active role in our relationship with our healing.
Correct. And I love that you said relationship with our Healy, because it truly is a relationship with our Healy, because Healy is a bridge to the relationship to ourselves. And I really love that. Thanks, Rachel. I really love hearing that. Anyone else would love to share? I understand it's the first time you don't know me and it's kind of hard, but after scanning yourself, the aura, then what coaching analysis do you do? What do you type in? Oh, okay. So coaching in the new Blue Wave app, you don't have to actually, I set the intention. So I use one intention for maybe 5 weeks. So I do one scan for 5 weeks. I use one intention. And if I feel like I have a change, you could use there's preset intentions in the Blue Healy Wave app, but you can create your own as long as it's in the present state and it's like it's already happened, right? If you're working on a physical body, for example, if it would be a physical issue, right? Then you could say, my body is healthy and vital and thriving, right? Or I'm supported in every possible way. So my body is transforming itself, and it's completely healed and thriving in its full potential, right? So all of those things you can use, whatever feels and resonates true to you. It needs to resonate true to you, and you use that intention and don't change it all the time. So work with that intention. Work with that intention a long time. We're going to look at coaching programs in the future trainings. Things are coming. So we're going to look at that more in details. But if you are doing that, choose one intention, scan that, vibrate for 5 weeks and choose the same intention and see what changes long term. Yeah. And work on one thing for a while. Hope that helps. Oh yeah. And for the Blue Wave app, the coaching program, you just type in the intention and it actually scans all the areas of your life, and it actually tells you which area is the strongest and which one is the lowest, so you can actually work on those things. And it's exactly the frequencies that you need in that moment. But we're going to go in deeper details to the coaching program in the future. Hope that helped. Any other questions? Any other shares? Anybody else want to participate? No. I would love to have people to participate, but if not, if you do have questions, you can still pop them into the Facebook group, Australia. Perfect. I'm glad it helped. So you can also pop them into the Facebook group as Australia members. So it's Healy members, Australia, New Zealand. You can pop them under the promotional post of the training. And I'm in the group, so I'll pop in and I'll answer if something pops up for you in the future. But next week, we are back on Thursday, and we are going to go deeper into energy. And we're also going to have in the future guests coming in with their knowledge from the healer community, so we can actually learn from people in our community and get to know each other. Hope this helped. Thank you, Petra. I'm fairly new to Healy and would love to learn how to utilize this amazing device, and I'm excited for the future meets. No questions at time. Perfect. We're going to go deeper into these things, so you can actually start using the Healy properly, so you can actually have some experiences and shifts with yourself. But thank you for tonight. How to find the Facebook group? Oh, okay.
I'll just I'll copy the link into the chat.
Yeah. Or either the Australian group. Are you from Australia? If not, it's the APEC group as well. So you can post in there as well, and I'll answer there as well. They're both from they're both APEC. Perfect. So I'll go into APEC. There's a post should be in there as well. So if you have any questions, you can pop the questions underneath that promotional post for the Thursday training, and will come in and answer those questions as well. But thank you everyone for coming. I am honored that so many of you have come and stayed. It's been more than an hour, so I'm aiming to be less than that, 30 minutes and then some questions, so we're not literally putting so much pressure and time on you. And I will make myself to organize that for the next one. Have a beautiful, there will be some weeks where I will be unable to attend. That's okay, that's not a problem. Recording will be available for anyone to take a look at, so that's not a problem at all. It will be on YouTube, but it's going to be under unlisted, so it's not going to be live. So the link will be, I think, don't take me up on that yet, but I think it should be in the group, in the Facebook group, so you can access it, and you can watch the recording at your leisure. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. I am honored for you to stay here and be with me, and take the time for you and for me. But I will see you next Thursday at our new training. Thank you. Have a great night.
Thanks, Petra.